Okay, we're live. Welcome to another Nerd Stalker interview podcast. Good afternoon. This is Greg Valori, aka Social Greg, on Twitter for the Nerd Stalker Media Network. Today, we're pleased to talk with Johan Gunnars, the CEO and co-founder of an app called Simpliday, and he's going to talk about 5 ways to simplify your day using this app, and a little bit about Johan. Currently, he's in addition to growing Simpliday, which he just launched here in the United States just recently from Europe for Sweden. Johan is a member of the Foresight Strike Team of the Foresight Group, which is a leading infrastructure and private equity management group. So he has a lot of knowledge in growing companies. And he's held various board positions of, especially one of Entrepreneurship Foundation, Drew Hufset Malmo. Hopefully I said that right, but it's a nonprofit organization assisting students in starting 120 new companies during 2009. He's held various C-level sales, marketing, business development positions in his career. Anyway, good evening, Johan. Thanks for joining us on Nerd Stalker Live from, you said, Germany?
Yeah, thanks, Rex. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm currently on vacation with my 2 daughters, and I decided it's time to see Berlin. So I'm now in the Gaststätte in old Eastern Germany. So hence the nice curtain and all the nice stuff behind me.
Hey, that's okay.
This is part of our history, so we need to, we need to learn.
No, it's thank you for joining us there from, especially on your vacation. I appreciate that. But let's talk about simplifying your day. And you wrote an article for Nerd Stalker about 5 ways to simplify your day and how to do it. We're going to talk today how to do it with the Simpliday app. So anyway, let's go down the list, and please give me your, some personal insight and show the audience how to do it with the Simpliday app. So, this is the first one that you wrote in your article. The first one is write things down. I'm on and off with that one. So, please show me how you would do it.
All right. Can you see the app now?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, no, but the thing is, we have a lot of stuff, and we've done a lot of focus groups. And when it comes to parents having kids, typically when you have 1 kid, you got a job, you got friends, you got relatives. It somewhat works, keeping the stuff in your head. When you got two kids, the system breaks down. It's not working anymore, right? Because it's too much information. Sure. So rule number 1, I'm just going to create a to-do here. I press the plus sign, and I want to buy bread, right? And not but bread. We don't want that. I want to buy bread. And I'm not sure when to do it right now, so I'm just going to save it for later, right? So it ends up at the top right corner. You see buy bread.
Oh, nice.
So now at least I know I'm going to buy bread, right?
Right.
So my coworkers won't be, all disappointed and angry with me because they bought the cheese and the butter and the marmalade, and the CEO didn't bring the bread. How about that? We don't want that.
Of course.
So that's number 1. Just write stuff down, because you're not going to remember it, because you're going to meet your buddy Tony on the way to work, and stuff happens.
And what drove me all crazy, and you wrote about this in the article about, having 10 million Post-its all over the place. It's just not organized, right? I mean, which one's the priority, right? Which one's coming first, right? I mean,
right.
It's just nuts.
I tend, we typically, I mean, we're nice, we're driven people. We just want to get stuff done, and we're typically overambitious. But let's get back to that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go to the next one after writing it down is be specific. That was kind of an interesting one. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, because now I think I was a really smart guy who wrote down buy bread. The thing is, when I pick up the phone tomorrow, I'm going to buy bread for what? Is this for my mom because she's a little bit sick? Is this for my buddy Tony because he's coming for dinner? Is this for, what's this for? I'm not sure. All right. So I think the rule is write it. When you write down a reminder, make sure you write it in a way that anyone can understand it, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add, actually I'm going to buy this at Noir. So I'm going to add the place Noir. That's a place in Malmö, have really nice bread, right? And it's for team meeting, right?
Nice.
Now we're going somewhere, right? So buy bread, and it says team meeting, and then I can see it's at Noir. Now, when I pick it up tomorrow or 2 weeks from now, I'm going to know what it is, right? And if I even be so kind to actually schedule it, all right, now we're cooking. now I might actually get it done, and I might actually understand what it is when it pops up on my locked screen. Not just buy bread at any given time. It's buy bread for team meeting from Noir at this time. Okay, fine.
That's an interesting thing, because I think that sometimes we want to be short so we can actually see it on the screen, but we're not specific enough when it's too short, right? So
yeah.
That's a good point. No, that's cool. I like the way the app does that. So how the next one is share the love. Yeah, it was interesting. You said, like, it was kind of interesting how you did it in a context, especially with a startup company and a company like yours, right?
Yeah. But I think that I guess no one's smoking anymore, almost. But I mean, typically when you ask your buddies back in the days, and they're like, I want to quit smoking. And it's typically the first one that said that, when they made a commitment that I'm going to stop smoking, then it became a chance of that would actually going to happen, because you formulate it and you share your to-dos or your reminders or your commitments with someone else. It's not just in your head. It's not just you. You actually make a commitment towards someone else as well. So when we take this here, buy bread, team meeting, I know I'm going to increase the chances if I add my co-founder, Sebastian. So I'm going to add him. All right. So now I'm sharing the reminder with Sebastian. And I know he's going to be on and say, dude, where's the bread? I saw your reminder. You're supposed to buy bread. And you're coming to the team meeting without bread. Don't make that happen. So it's more or less the things. This is just a silly example with the bread, but sharing the things for the things that matter with people who actually care about you and keep track of you and want to share what's going on in your life. It's going to increase the chances of stuff getting done.
No, it's very true. I think that the ability in a team environment, especially, to collaborate is important, and that's what I guess that's what you're really trying to say, is that you need to share it, but you also in a collaborative way, so you could get some feedback and understand what all that means, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, the next one that you talked about was don't be too ambitious.
Yeah, I'm checking my app here at the same time.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think we tend to just want to do a lot of stuff because there's so much stuff we need to get done. And we have a misconception of that if I write everything down, I'm going to get everything done. As long as I write it down, I'm going to get it done. It's true, it increases chances, just like we talked about in the beginning, of course. But the thing is, if you write down everything, I had this guy, he actually had, and I'm not kidding you, Greg, he had 3,700 to-dos active. And that's
Oops, I think we lost, might have lost Johan there just for a brief second. But anyway, we were just talking about how, the number of to-dos was just overwhelming for a lot of people. I know that I write down a lot of stuff, but I do keep it, concise a little bit, as he's kind of calling it out, not ambitious. And I think the ability to be not ambitious is really kind of important. And so I know that I prioritize when I'm at work, maybe not, not in the way that he's suggesting, but I prioritize 3 specific things that I have to get done that day. I mean, either have to get done because it's a priority by my president or my boss. It's holding up the rest of my team members, or it's a commitment that I have made to a loved one. So I definitely kind of prioritize my day in that. But we'll see if we could get Johan back online with us here. He's kind of dropped off here, so we'll wait for him a little bit. We have some time here, but today we're talking with Johan Gunnars on the 5 ways to simplify your day. Hey, you're back.
I'm back.
I was just playing MC for a little bit. you know how that goes when delaying for time and all that stuff.
Yeah,
But
well, the thing is, this teaches us not to take internet for granted in all parts of the world. Actually, it's just a little lesson in gratitude, Greg.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually we could have a show on that as well.
How about that?
Yeah, but anyway, we were talking about the 3,700 to-dos that a colleague of yours had, right? Yeah. Totally ridiculous.
Well, it's I understand the ambition. I absolutely share the ambition of just want to get a lot of stuff done. The thing is, 3,700 is it's a ridicule. It's not going to happen. You cannot. There's no way you can have that overview. It's impossible. Yeah. So it's more or less, it's just a really big heap of bad conscience that you carry around, either as post-its or in the app, right? So it's more, try to keep it simple. I mean, if you can't fit it into one interface, if you can't see it in the main interface in the Simpliday app, it's probably too much. And it's probably stuff that doesn't matter or doesn't need to get done today. So why do you want to carry that bad conscience around with you? Why? Right. I don't know. Because we're afraid of losing track or not getting stuff done. That's the best stuff. The best way of not getting stuff done is having 3,700 to-dos. Trust me.
No, and I think it's a good point in being in the moment, right? Being in the day, right? Right. Not extend yourself past that, but understanding what the priorities I have to get done today. No crap, just get it done, and everyone's happy then at that point, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's talk about the last one. Lastly, which is my favorite: embrace flexibility, which is important for startups and small companies. I know that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think it's. We always plan stuff, and we need to plan stuff, and we always seem to be surprised when the plan breaks, right? Why? Because they call from kindergarten, your kid is sick, is puking, or all of a sudden a meeting is moved around, or whatever, stuff happens. So it's more, have a plan, but be ready to change the plan all the time, because it's gonna change. So that's why we also built the app, and it's really easy to move stuff around all the time, because that's the way life is. Now all of a sudden, what happened? Well, internet between the US and Germany went down, and you had to do your own little MC thing there, Greg. So this is what happens every day, all the time. So that's why we designed the solution for that. Because it's gonna mess up. It's just more a question of when. So let's design for messy days, because the day is messy.
Yeah, that's a great example. Yeah, I can say 2 minutes ago that was a great example of actually embracing flexibility and accepting it. I wanted to go through a lot of that. You have a lot of business background, but what motivated you to create this app? Obviously, there's something that you found very difficult with the existing tools out there, right?
It's you could think that it's actually not that. It's actually that I met my co-founder, and he had a company, and he wanted me to be an advisor or whatever, be a part of it. And I said, well, the company's not that interesting, but you're really interesting. And when we meet, there's really, we get out of meetings and we actually have much better results than I anticipated. I don't know about you, Greg, but I'm not very often in meetings where the output is much better than I anticipated. And we started thinking, okay, so if we're going to do anything together, what would we do? And it turns out we both had a history of always putting our reminders and meetings in the calendar. So why do we put our reminders in the calendar? They're not supposed to be in the calendar. It's supposed to be in Post-its or apps or whatever. But still, we put them there. And if you ask around, you're going to find out that there's a lot of people that put the reminders in the calendar. Why? Because we want them all in the same place. We want one interface to your day. So that's the main hypothesis that we're working with. Is just gather all the stuff that helps you get through the day in the same interface. So we added email as well to make it a little bit easier, hopefully. But that's the reason we do this. Yeah. And hopefully, our ambition is to help. We both have small kids. We both have busy lives. And if we can help people around the world, just make it a little bit easier to get through the day, just a little bit smoother, a little bit less obstacles, that's nice. I'm happy. Yeah, because the days are tough for a lot of people.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. I think I like your approach because it's a very, I think, positive approach. Encouraging approach, which is a way I like to actually manage and encourage other people to but to encourage people, you have to end up simplifying some things for them, right? As your app does.
Hopefully.
Yeah,
we like to think. We like to think so, at least.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the goal. Whether we, like you said, whether we get to that end goal or not every day, it's up to the world to determine that, right?
Absolutely.
Well, also tell the audience a little bit about when this app got started and what you're doing for the U.S. market currently.
For the U.S. market, we're currently launching in the U.S. So we launched in Sweden and the U.K. and we got picked up by the App Store. So that's really fun because those guys, they're picky when it comes to designing functions. We're happy that they liked us. Everybody wants a lot from Apple, and we got a little bit, so we're happy about that. And now the U.S. market. U.S. is I'm not gonna name any other countries, but we tried in a different country, other than US, of course, and other than Canada, and it turns out people in that country think that the phone is for calling people. They don't see the phone as the main interface to your day. Whatever happened goes through the phone. They think that the phone is for calling your pal to go, to the bar or hang out. So that's where we first started, and we got really weird feedback looking at the data because you couldn't figure anything out. And so then we went to we're like, this doesn't make sense. So we went to Canada, and then all of a sudden people started sharing, liking, and actually they use the phone in a very similar way as you guys do in the United States. And I think I lived 2 years in the States as an exchange student, so it's a fantastic country. I really love it. And people in America are very productivity driven. You guys really like productivity, and you always have a little bit of bad conscience, yeah? So you always know you can be a little bit better. So that drives you guys to want to do more, and all that. And so then for us, it makes sense. Yeah, can we do that? But can we do it in a nice way? Can we do that not putting big chips on Greg's both shoulders, but more, come on, man, keep it simple, and we help you through the day, right? So that's why the States is, of course, is interesting to us.
No, you're right about the States that way. I could tell the people who are really on it where as soon as we say something, I'll see a calendar invite about 2 milliseconds later or something like that, or a to-do list on Basecamp, a famous one, that we use here, or something on Slack or something like that, right? I mean, but you're right. We're very notifications driven.
Right.
As an example, our phone is the center now. Thank God for smartphones. Right now, we have a device that's centralized, but within that device, as your app does, it's still decentralized. Right? Google does a decent job, but they don't do it all. So, I think your approach is really kind of a nicer, like you said, a nicer way of doing it in terms of just being able to interact with people in a more human way, right? So
I like to think you're right, and it's more. The smartphone is awesome. The thing is, how many apps you got in your phone, Greg? Too many, that's for sure. And the thing is, do you use them all? No, you don't use them all. You use maybe half of them, maybe 30%. I don't know. Depends on how good you're at cleaning your phone. Anyways, there's still like 5-6 apps that you jump through all of the day just to see what your commitments are. And that's just stressful, right? Because things are going to get missed. Stuff are not going to get done because you don't have the overview. This is what happens all the time. Oh, that was in Slack. Oops. Well, actually, that was in Dropbox, and that was on the email, and then there's a calendar invite, and there's a reminder app, and so the main thing for us is putting all this stuff into one interface, the things that matter in one interface. So this is where I have the important stuff. This is where I put the stuff that needs to get done.
You said something interesting just a few seconds ago about, I think what frustrates me is that what I like about your app is that, again, my company's on Outlook, right? But I primarily do my things on Gmail or Google, right? So I'm constantly trying to go between those two platforms, and so I think interesting thing that you point out that companies, even the big guys, are very siloed still in their way of approaching each other and trying to interact with one another. They're very careful because they're competitors, right? And us as the consumer, we're the losers on all of that, right? Oh, we lost Johan there, but he'll be back. We'll close out the interview here in a little bit when he comes back. But anyway, I think that you guys should check out the Simpliday app. It's interesting.
I'm back.
Hey, you're back again. I was ad-libbing.
I'm the worst internet guy ever.
No, that's all right. Don't worry. Hey, being live on here, you're gonna have these kind of hiccups. So we're
probably like 8 years ago, they didn't have internet here, so this is a big thing.
Okay, I like that. But anyway, we'll close off the interview. And anyway, thank you for joining us today here on NerdStalker. So how can listeners get a hold of your app, Simpliday? And is it available on Android yet?
No, we're going to wait with Android. We're going to start with iOS, and Android is coming towards the end of the year.
Okay, cool. Well, we'll look forward to that. I'm an Android guy, but I have an iPad, so I'm on both platforms like everyone else in the world is. but anyway, again, hey Johan, thanks for joining us here on your holiday, and enjoy it with your two daughters there in Germany there. Appreciate it. But anyway, thanks for joining us, everyone. This is Greg Valori, aka Social Greg, on Twitter for the NerdStalker Media Network, where we believe in tech, startups, design, and you. Thanks for joining us, everyone, and be careful to get there. Okay, Johan, have a great evening, okay?
You too. Thanks for having me.